Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. How are you all? Okay?
Alhamdulillah, fine, thank you.
Good.
I've got Sister Teresa joining me here from Colchester.
Hello. Hi, Teresa.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm
Walaikum
fine.
assalam. Nice to have you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Walaikum assalam. Nice to see you on here, Gillian. I haven't seen you for ages. How are you?
Hiya, how are
Yeah, how
you?
are you? Yeah, okay, I haven't seen you for ages. I haven't seen you on the Colchester coffee mornings. You're probably working and stuff, are you?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm always working. I just get to town just as you finish, which is not fair on me, but yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, I've been missing you. You must
Oh,
try and
you
come a bit more. Come more this way as well. There's some sisters actually from Ipswich who come along to my lectures in Romford, which is really nice.
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, which shows a lot of dedication.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you for joining. Ustada Sidra Naeem is an alima qualified from Al-Huda International. She has studied the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in detail. In this series, she will be focusing on the meanings, explanations, and ways of implementing Allah's subhanahu wa ta'ala's attributes into our lives. The session will conclude with an interactive questions and answers. Today, we will be continuing and focusing on two more of Allah's attributes, Al-KHAALIQ and Al-BAARI. Jazakallah khair, Sister Sidra.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me today. And we are going to talk about two more names, which are actually in order in the Quran. So we're looking at the next two names, which actually I really, really like. So let me share my PowerPoint. So these are the two names that we are going to discuss today, Al-KHAALIQ and Al-BAARI. Okay, and these are actually very closely connected with one another, which is why they go together in the Quran. So the very first one, Al-KHAALIQ, actually means the creator, the maker. Okay, and apart from himself, Allah creates everything from nothing. Okay, Al-KHAALIQ invents and perfects according to his will and with the knowledge of what will happen. So we believe that Allah alone is the creator, and all the rest, did you know, is his creation. Al-KHAALIQ is the one who brings things into existence after their non-existence, who invents and innovates without a prior model. That's the difference between us and Allah. We can create things, but we have to have a prior model or items in which to create with. But Allah, he creates from nothing. Okay, and then bestows upon them their characteristics of movement and other qualities. He is the one who invents whatever the eyes can see and perfects their creation. Okay, so did you know that Al-KHAALIQ, Allah's name or attribute, is mentioned 11 times in the Quran? And did you know that the root letters of Al-KHAALIQ, they appear 261 times in 8 derived forms? So here is one ayah of the Quran. Allah has said he is Allah the creator. That's in Quran chapter 59 verse 24. Okay, and here is another one. Say Allah is the creator of all things and he is the one, the prevailing. That's in Quran chapter 13:16. And there's so many more. That is Allah, your Lord, creator of all things. There is no deity except him. So how are you deluded? And the verse chapter number is there. So now I'm going to put a video on which will talk to you a little bit about Al-KHAALIQ.
Allah calls himself Al-KHAALIQ. Khaliq comes from the root letters Kha, Lam, Qaf, and it means to create, to make, or to measure accurately. When it comes to Allah, the main meaning of Al-KHAALIQ means to create something without a previous model. It means to create something where there is nothing like it, so there is no chance of taking ideas from somewhere or copying. Another meaning is to determine and measure accurately. Imagine someone making a car. The first stage is to determine the measurements and specifications. Then the parts are assembled. Both of these stages are referred to as khalq. But there is a difference when Allah is called Al-KHAALIQ and when a person is called Khaliq. When Allah creates, He does not need a previous model to make something. When a person creates, they need some sort of model and material to begin creating. For example, a person may create a bicycle, but the materials were already on earth before he created the bicycle. A person may create and build a house, but the materials were already on the earth before. We use a previous model to create things. Allah Al-KHAALIQ created and gave a proper measure to your heart that beats around 60 to 100 beats per minute. It beats around 35 million times a year and pumps around 7,500 liters of blood per day. It takes less than 60 seconds to pump blood to every cell of your body. Your body has about 600 muscles, and the average size muscle is made up of about 250,000 muscle fibers. Our tongue plays a role of chewing, swallowing and tasting food as well as for speech and sounds. It has up to 10,000 taste buds and tells the difference between sweet, salty, sour and bitter. One kidney has more than 1 million tiny filters and it filters over 100 liters a day. Your body has around 2 to 4 million sweat glands which control the temperature of our bodies. Your outer layer of skin replaces itself in less than a month. As a matter of fact, the whole human body, right down to the last atom, is replaced and a new one is created for you, even right now. Who is constantly creating all this? Allah Al-KHAALIQ is. The human body is so complicated and a unique creation. We can only say, فَتَبَارَكَ أَحْسَنُ الْخَالِقِينَ. So blessed be Allah, the best of creators. Such is the work of Allah, who perfected all things. The next time you are outdoors, look at nature and ponder how things have been created in perfect measure. Look at yourself in the mirror and thank the Creator, Al-KHAALIQ, for such a beautiful creation.
Okay, so we can thank Him for everything He has created. We can look at nature, which is His creation, and ponder upon it, and that will help us to thank Him as well. What else can we do to implement this attribute into our life? Or how can we live by this name? Any ideas? Can we do anything else?
Every time we wake up, we think and thank Al-KHAALIQ for another day.
Yes, good, because He has created another day for us. That is part of His creation, isn't it? Day. So yes, we can do that. Anything else to do with creation and Allah? What can we make dua to Him for?
For everyday sustenance.
Okay.
For giving us life.
Okay. Could we ask Him to create something for us?
Yes, I guess we can.
Yes, say we didn't have any babies and we were craving for a baby. Could we ask Allah to give us a baby?
Yes, yes.
Yes, so
definitely.
there's one example. Okay. So we can ask Him, if we desire children, we can ask Al-KHAALIQ, please. Al-KHAALIQ means the creator, create a baby for us. Okay. Now in the past, if we look at prophet stories like Adam, and if we look at Jesus' story, Isa al-Islam, Allah created them from nothing. Okay. He just said, be, kun fayakun, and both of them came into existence. Okay. So He can create anything. So there is an example. We can ask Him for children, which is something He can create for us. Okay. Is there anything that we can do to create a baby, for example?
But they've done it in test tubes.
Yes. Apart from that, naturally is what I'm looking for.
Gardening.
Yes, good. So let's do us, first of all, creating babies. Okay. So did you know we are created to procreate? Are we not? That's why
Yes.
Allah has created us to procreate. So, you know, we have starter materials. We have an egg and a sperm. Okay. So we can actually create babies as well by mating, which is actually a form of ibadah. Is it not? Worship, a form of worship. So that's something that we can do.
نساؤكم حرث لكم فأتوا حرثكم أنى شئتم وقدموا لأنفسكم واتقوا الله واعلموا أنكم ملاقوه وبشر المؤمنين.
Okay, now it's very interesting the way this exercise is explained in the Quran. It is like you're creating. So it says your wives are a tilth for you. So they're like farming, you know, like when you farm a land and you make the land beautiful and wonderful, and then from the seeds, plants grow. Like that, Allah has explained it beautifully in the Quran that, you know, like seeds, from seeds, then children can grow. Okay. So the way Allah's actually explained it in the Quran is through creation of, you know, like is likened it to plants, if you like. Okay. Plow the land and you'll get beautiful, you know, seeds and wheat and plants growing from it. And like that, if you plow your land nicely, treat your wives beautifully and wonderfully, you can have beautiful children through that. Okay. Good. Somebody said plants. I'm sure I heard gardening somewhere.
Yeah, I did.
Yes, that's brilliant example. That is a very clever example. So you can grow plants. You're creating something. Okay. Grow trees. There is so much barakah in growing trees, blessings. Because did you know that when you grow a tree, anything that eats from it or shades under it, those blessings you get right unto the day of judgment, even while you're in your graves. So creating a tree is absolutely wonderful. And yes, you can create. So I know Fasila has grown date trees from seeds, date seeds, which I think is brilliant. So you're recycling the seed, and from that seed, not only are you saving the environment by recycling it, you're growing another tree. So that is an example of you copying Allah in a way. I know we cannot copy him because Allah is on his completely different entity completely, but we have got some of the attributes of Allah inside us through Prophet Adam. So we, did you know, are naturally creators as well. Okay, so yes, we can create from obviously materials which Allah has given us. We can create plants and trees. Okay, is there anything else that we can create? Some of you who follow me on my YouTube channel, I put up something quite recently actually on things that I've created. Any ideas what that might be? Again, Fasila comes to mind. You've done courses recently on this.
The cycling course.
Nope. You did a course on art. You had an art course, did you?
All right, yeah,
Art course. Now, creating pictures and art is another one. Are we not creating sceneries, pictures, art? Those 4 pictures up on your screen at the moment is actually my own pictures. I'm quite artistic. I have talents in other areas as well, not just teaching Islam. And these 4 pictures I have created myself in my own house, and they have been up in an exhibition recently, an Islamic exhibition, which was on to do with creation and stuff and renewing of life. So these went up in there. So any form of art, artistic hobbies are really, really good where you're creating something. Okay, lots of different hobbies. You could be creating models. You could be creating other types of things to do with your hands, knitting, creating crochet jumpers, creating needlework, tapestry. The top left picture is actually a tapestry. The bottom right picture, silk painting. The left bottom picture is painting. and the top right is collage. That's all a form of you using that attribute which Allah has given us to create. Okay? Any other examples before I go on to the next name?
Well, we can create emotion, security, love,
Yes, you can.
make somebody feel more accepted.
Yes, you can do. That's a different kind of creation, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yes, create love is a really good one. You can create love in the world by doing good things. So that's a very, very clever, deep thinking example there. Okay, right. Now we're going to move on to Al-Bari, which is a very specific type of creating which Allah does. Okay, so Al-Bari, everything besides Allah is created and evolved from pre-existing matter. For example, I gave you the example of a baby, which is created from a sperm and an egg. Okay, but did you know that Al-Bari is the originator? He is the one who is the originator of everything. He's the creator and the one who gives distinguished characteristics to all of his creation. Okay, we will hear about this in a minute. Al-Bari knows his creation best. The name confirms that everything besides him is created, so we worship him alone. And Allah has said he is the creator, the originator, the fashioner. Okay, let's listen to the ayah.
هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور.
Okay, now those three names all come together in the Quran. The creator, the originator, the fashioner that we will discuss next time. Okay, and as you can see, right next to Al-KHAALIQ is Al-Bari. Okay, so let us look at this name now in detail. How is it different to Al-KHAALIQ?
The Holy Quran says, Huwa Allahul Khaliqul Bari. He is Allah, the Khaliq, the Bari. The word Bari comes from the root word Bara'a. Bara'a could mean to bring something into existence. It also means to be free, disassociated, or distinguished from another thing. For example, the same root word is used in this verse of the Holy Quran. Innani bara'um mimma ta'budun. Indeed, I am disassociated, free from that which you worship. Al-Bari has a very similar meaning to Al-KHAALIQ, except Khaliq is more general, while Bari is more specific. We said Al-KHAALIQ is to create something without a previous model, but Al-Bari is to create something that is distinguished from another thing. One example for this is your fingerprints. Every human has its own fingerprint and it is different and distinguished from anyone else. Even identical twins have different fingerprints. These fingerprints of ours represent our human character. In today's society, fingerprinting is used in the study of crimes. If a burglar touches a door handle, window, or a box, a sample of their fingerprint is taken to identify the burglar. We can even use our fingerprints to lock and unlock our phones. All your personal information, photos, emails, contacts, text messages can all be unlocked by using your fingerprints. Now, think about the Day of Judgment where Allah says, yes, we are able to put together in perfect order the very tips of His fingers. On this day, Allah will bring back even our fingertips, our identity, and unlock all our hidden secrets, intentions, motives, good deeds, and bad deeds. This is just one distinguishing feature of humans. Remember, Allah is Al-Bari, the one who gave all things characteristics which would distinguish them from each other. The next time you look at your hands, pay close attention to your fingertips, the thing that distinguishes and identifies you from someone else. Do you want to be distinguished and identified as a person that does good deeds or bad deeds on the Day of Judgment? Of course we want to be distinguished and identified as a person that does good deeds and stays away from bad deeds. It's never too late to start right now.
Okay, I find that really fascinating. The way Allah makes each thing completely individual and different to everything else. Okay, so how can we implement that name into our lives? Any ideas?
Maybe we could just be who we are and not copying someone else. Like doing
Good.
bad things, we can prove that we can do good things more better.
Good. I like that one a lot. Because when you don't copy everybody else, you become unique, don't you? You are your own unique self. And Allah has made us unique from everybody else. By copying other people, you're not unique. You're like everybody else, aren't you? So that is a very, very clever answer. I like that one a lot. Be your own unique self. Be different to everybody else. And do you know how you can be different? By doing good deeds, like they said in that video. Okay, a lot of people think I'm different to everybody else, and that's because I am myself, and I try and do as many good deeds as I can, and that makes me unique then, doesn't it? Okay, good. I like that one. That was excellent answer. Anything else that you can think of that how we can live by this name, Al-Bari? Let's have a look at some of these. So first of all, we can pray to Allah and be grateful for everything unique that He has created, made, and evolved. Okay, that's one thing. And we also need to recognize that everything in the world is not there due to science. There is so much Scientology around where people equate everything that Allah has made that, oh, that's just science. Okay, so in Islam, we are not allowed to believe that everything is created because of science, because we believe that all the individual things Allah has created in the first place, the cells, the atoms, the neurons, the gases, the chemicals, Allah has created them. Okay, so whatever we do in science, the original creation Allah has given in the first place. Okay. Is there anything that we can do to create something unique? We looked earlier on at things that we can create ourselves. What is it when we create something unique? What is that called then? Completely different from everything else. Begins with an I.
Ibadah?
No, inventions.
Inventions. Okay.
Inventions. How can we be really creative so that we create something that is so different and unique? And that is to invent something. Okay. Now, I have put up all of these inventions which Muslims have invented. Did you know? All of these, which is absolutely amazing. So all the medical field, everything Muslims invented, all the science things, even, you know, things like toothpaste and electricity, steam distillation, hydropower, the first hospital, the very first doctor was a Muslim, surgical instruments, operations, all of that kind of stuff was all invented by Muslims. So we have done that in the past very, very well, but we definitely need new inventions. You know, the COVID vaccine, it was Muslims who invented that. So that is a form of Al-Bari, something unique which tackled that COVID was the vaccine, which Muslims invented. It was a Turkish couple that invented that. That's a classic brand new example of an invention which Muslims have invented, which has done good to the world. So those are the kinds of examples that I'm talking about. Okay. Naturally, did you know that Allah has made us creative? Since the beginning of time, we have invented using our knowledge of the Quran and our curiosity. We have discovered elements, plants, living creatures, and we have used our intellect, which Allah has given to us in the first place, to investigate things and then hence make inventions. But the main thing we have to remember is we are not allowed to be big-headed and say that we created this. Yes, we created it, but with the starter materials which Allah gave us, and with the intellect which Allah gave to us in the first place as well, which is our brains, because we didn't make our brains, did we? Okay, so that is the main thing that we must remember and thank Allah for. Okay, right, so that has covered both names. And now, does anybody have any questions about the two names that we have covered, or any comments? Okay, did you find those names quite fascinating? I did.
Yes, and the fact that they're linked,
Yes, they're linked.
come together, it's amazing.
Yeah, so the first one is to create something, but the second one is to create something specific. Okay, like fingerprints. Each one of us has got different fingerprints. Each one of us is different. Each one of our genetics is different, isn't it?
Yes.
Which I find absolutely amazing. That's how we know there's an Allah up there, really. Each plant is different. Each leaf of a plant is different. If we put each leaf under the microscope, it will be different of a plant.
What I find amazing, every single snowdrop is different.
Yes. Oh, I like that one. Each snowflake is different. People have investigated and put them under the microscope, and each snowflake has a different pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Each cell is different, isn't it? This is how you know there is an Allah up there. And, you know, all of this stuff about atheism and not believing in Allah, which is the fashion nowadays, people are blind, really, then, to things around them, you know.
Well, thank you very much, Jazakallah khair. That was truly fascinating.
Yes, I find that fascinating. And the next one that we look at will be the fashioner, and that is going to be, again, linked with this name as well. Next time we will look at the word fashioner. For example, when Allah made Adam out of clay, he fashioned the clay into a shape to make Adam. So that, I think, is going to be another very interesting one. Alex, I don't know if from the top of your head, you know when the next lecture is. People can pop it in their diaries.
The next lecture we have down for is the 14th of June.
Brilliant. And it will be at 6 o'clock again, because that's what everybody requested last time.
Okay, well, once again, thank you very much. An absolutely fascinating lecture, and we look forward to the next one. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair, everybody, for having me. All right, then. Okay, then see you all soon.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As-SALAM ALAIKUM.
Jazakallah khair.